G'day guys, and today Shorty and I are going to review the game with Geelong and the Western Bulldogs, which was at Simonds Stadium. It wasn't really a far from convincing performance, mate. I didn't get to see the whole lot, but I was a little bit busy doing a few other things, and you were obviously at the game and saw what was going on. Yeah. We got home in the end by 13 points, and I think that says it all, really. I mean, every week after a game, there's more question marks than there was beforehand. But you were at the game, as I mentioned. How did you sort of see it?
Yeah, it was a pretty uninspiring effort from the Cats. Again, those problems, like you say, more seem to arise than go away week after week. But I sort of make the comparison to where we are now to sort of like maybe like a Matthew Scarlett a couple of years ago or Jonathan Brown like this year. That they're champions within their own right, but they're just sort of fading into irrelevance. They've been champions, but they're just sort of dropping off, and it's hard to watch when those champions start to fade away, and it does happen.
Absolutely.
You know, Matty Scarlett's last year, it all went away from him pretty quickly, and obviously Jonathan Brown with other issues and stuff, it can leave them pretty quickly, and I think with the Cats, we're sort of waiting and waiting. I know I mentioned to you I expect a good performance, and again, it didn't really come. Geelong just sort of seemed like that champion team. They're still the same name. They're still a Geelong Footy Club, but I think a lot of people don't realise that they are just fading away. And while on the ladder, we are still there and abouts for top four. And I see Schwatter put us in for third to finish. I just wonder, people see Geelong Footy Club, still good. The fact is we are so far off being a top four side.
Spot on.
To maybe what the ladder represents. But what were some of the key issues that you saw out of the match?
Yeah, I didn't see the whole lot, but clearance is terrible. I think we're minus 20 or something.
Yeah.
This issue is just a constant issue, and it has been for the last 3 years, it feels, and I just don't know what is going on. I mean, we brought in Shane O'Brien. Supposedly had a bit of success with the Gold Coast Suns, is how he described it in the article. I mean, you just wonder if the ruckman's an issue. I mean, I think even in 2011, Brad Otten's with Brad Otten's in the side, we weren't awesome in the clearances, but it's just a big question mark every week as to why we can't win clearances. I mean, we got Joel Selwood, Stevie J, James Kelly, Jimmy Bartel, Mitch Duncan, all those quality names rolling through the centre.
And it's such a vital aspect of the game. I mean, it's so simple, It's so influential on the match.
Yeah.
We just continually get beaten by big margins.
And it's really evident when it does happen. Locals weren't happy, I found. The umpires were pretty, not the best game from them. They didn't quite, they got a fair few calls wrong, and I mean, obviously we back in the umpires most weeks.
Yeah.
We don't like to think that they have too much of a sort of negative impact on the contest, but
without bashing the umps, it wasn't their best performance, I guess. But I think the big rule is the holding the ball one. It's so frustrating, and in particular the incorrect disposal. We saw Monfries the other night. That was clearly incorrect. I think fans hate to see a good tackle, ball spills free, and it's called play on. And that happened multiple times, and that was probably what got them fired up.
Oh, definitely. Defenders just seem to be so nervous with Geelong. I mean, we've sort of talked about Corey Enright just sort of maybe going into the path of irrelevancy. He's sort of lost that polish, and a bit of speed's gone out of his game, and that has caught up with him. It just seems like we just want it to be someone else's problem. And I mean, back in the past, we often say the old Geelong would have done it a lot better.
Yeah.
we like to compare ourselves to how we used to be, but it's just they don't want the problem. They just want to pass off to someone else, and then it just looks even worse. And it does not show confidence at all. And I think you've got to be pretty confident bringing out the back line. And
the clearance stat doesn't help that either, because so often it gets pumped in there pretty quickly, and
they're under pressure straight away.
Exactly right. So it doesn't do them any favours there.
No, definitely. Yeah. Just absolute slog fest. I think it was a very ordinary match of footy, but I mean that sometimes you get those, and it's got a bit of deja vu about it, falling over the line again. I mean, we're up by 34 points, and just win by 13 points, and they were obviously they were pressing to probably push it even closer.
Yeah, they were.
But
Well, another stat that's a bit of deja vu, mate.
What have we got?
Sorry to cut you off there.
That's fine.
But the third quarters, I mentioned you before, the last 6 weeks they have been a massive problem for us. I think it's the stats, we're about 104 points down if you take out the St Kilda game. And, you know, you can change stats up a bit, but the Saints are travelling awful. So the other 5 sides, I think it's something like 23 goals, 19 we've conceded, and we've only scored 8 goals, 5 ourselves. The Saints match was about 4 goals to nil, to put it in perspective, but
that's horrible.
You know, it's called the Premiership quarter for a reason, and it's really letting us down at the moment. It kills against Gold Coast, got beaten again today. Bombers forced their way back. So, you know, it's so important, and we just seem to come out switched off. So that's a big problem as well, on top of clearances and contested possessions, I think. Yeah,
absolutely. Just seems to stick around, not being able to finish the team off when perhaps we should. And again, last year, we hate to, we actually like comparing to last year and stuff, but the third quarter was our best quarter. It's like if we didn't show up for the first half, it's like, yep, now this is the quarter we're going to knuckle down, get back into the contest, and it's almost like the first and second quarter didn't matter. You just knew we were going to switch on then, but times change, players move on, and I think at the moment our best players are sort of, they're not performing awesomely as they probably used to. Second tier players not quite standing up as they maybe should, and you put that together and it just, I guess it produces this very mediocre result for Geelong.
Yeah, it's a good point. There's not many blokes who could probably say their 2014 was better than last year, so it's a good point.
No sir, sir. Well, yeah, we'll go into the players' votes anyway. We've rambled on for a while about how bad we've been today, but who did you have in your top 3 for the Cats for today, mate?
Yeah, I gave 3 votes to Harry Taylor.
Harry?
In the votes, yeah.
Beautiful.
11 marks in his 150th. I think about 23 touches. He was really impressive, really clean, and, you know, a great solid player down in defence where everyone else is maybe a bit, you know, edgy down there. Yeah. So he got the 3 votes. I gave Mitch Duncan the 2 votes. His first, like early on the game in particular, was just sensational. Such a clean player. I think I mention that every single time I give him a vote, how clean he is, but it showed even more in the wet weather. He was just brilliant. So I think it was about 20 touches in the end, but a lot of tackles as well. So I gave him the 2 votes, and 1 vote I gave to Steve Motlop. I'm pretty sure he led us for the touches with about around that 30 mark. He's just starting to get back to his really good form. Don't really consider him a good wet weather player, but he was very good today. Got plenty of the ball, found space, and used it fairly well. So he's such a valuable player to us, and he seems to be getting back into his top form. So hopefully,
he's going well.
He is going very well. So there's my votes anyway, mate. How about yourself? Who do you give the votes to?
Well, Motlop's putting his hand up at the moment. Was picking on him. I think I might have seen him for part of the game on him. And
at certain parts he was. Picken also played a little bit behind the ball, but probably wasn't a hard tag. But
yeah, I was intrigued because I saw him there. I thought, oh, well, I've got 30 touches. Wasn't picking on him, but
yeah, it was a good display.
Well, there you go. I'll get to mine anyway. And we've got Jimmy Bartell at the top with 19 possessions. He also got, I think, 15 tackles, and he was pretty good. Got a goal next to his name as well. Obviously, I didn't see a heap of the game, and a few people are saying Jimmy played pretty well, so I'll go with him. Seems to feature in my votes a fair bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my second favourite player, but doesn't mean doesn't. Yeah,
that's all right.
Always get the votes, but Jono got 2 votes. I think he got the 25 disposals, and he also got 14 tackles. So he worked pretty hard, and he also chimed in with a goal, which was good, and 5 marks. Yeah, you often don't like his disposal, mate. He's a bit adventurous at times, and maybe in the wet weather you should be a bit more precautionary.
Certainly of late, I think. I just felt today maybe played dry weather footy when it was pouring down rain a little bit, but that's Jono, you know. I mean, lately it's been a little frustrating, but you wear that with the brilliance he can do. So he probably would have been about my 4th or 5th best player today. I mean, he certainly wasn't bad by any stretch. So, but just he's a little too creative when sometimes the kick to the hot spot is the one to do. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll go to the 1 vote, and goes to Harry Taylor, Mr. 150th game, and he got the 23 disposals and 11 marks, and he was obviously a pretty solid down back, and I think he deserves a vote. And I don't know if he's had. Oh, I know he's had one earlier this year against the Tigers, where I think he probably took similar numbers, maybe 13 marks or something, but
Yeah.
Taylor just getting the job done and stepping up a little bit more than what he has in recent weeks. So it's really good that he's getting a bit of improvement and continuity in his game.
Yeah, he followed up his words during the week, which was good.
Oh,
yeah.
he's a man of he keeps to his word, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So we'll move on to the chopping block now, and who have we got in there this week, mate?
Yeah, obviously a couple of late outs for the Cats was Kelly with soreness apparently, and Dawson Simpson.
Apparently.
Exactly. I doubt he's that sore, but we'll give him the week off, and I think Simpson was probably just for team balance, as they say.
Yeah.
I expect Kelly to hopefully come back, barring that it is just a bit of a week off and a bit of a rest. And the two fellas who came in were Jeb Buse and Hartman. I think Buse, he's not quite up to it yet, and Hartman was a sub, so it's hard to gauge that. But I think on the ruck perspective, I think we just need to play McIntosh, because I think Blitzarves is a more than capable second ruck, and I think I've said before that Simpson can be a little frustrating, and I think given our pace, we just need the one ruckman. Hence the changes I'll be looking for is probably just two runners for, rather than bringing a big guy back. So I think maybe someone like Jared Jansen really must be pushing for selection, because I feel with Hartman, he's not exactly what we need. He's a good player, but I think we need a big body contested player just to try and switch it up, just try something a bit different, a different element in the middle. And I'd like to see, Kelly come in, maybe with Jansen for the exit of probably Buse or Hartman. They may well want to do that and maybe rest Selwood, who's supposedly sore and seems to be playing sore.
Yeah, 13 disposals today, which is very, very
unlike him.
Got 11 tackles, but that's just a bit of a concern, I think.
Yeah, very un-Joel-like. And if they're looking for maybe another small defender, well, obviously Billy Smets is the one there, but there are a couple of changes, I think. I really rate Jansen. I think I've mentioned it before. He's a clearance king. I think he's ready to go physically.
Big body, yeah.
He's just worth a shake-up in the middle, something a bit different in there. You can only give him a shot for a couple of weeks and see how he goes, but I really rate him. So not too many changes, but there are a couple that I think the Cats will be looking to implement pretty soon ahead of the Demons Clutch, which is next week, mate. You'll be taking a bit of a look at that.
Yeah, well, we've got obviously Melbourne at the MCG. We haven't played great footy there this year, which is a bit unfortunate, but I mean, we haven't played great footy anywhere besides Simmons Stadium, except for today, which was far from our best. It was pretty deplorable, but not as bad as against Sydney or against Freo or Port, which is probably better off. But Melbourne have been pretty defensive this year. I mean, they haven't. I remember at one stage during the year, the Demons only conceded 10 goals or more on 4 occasions. That'd be probably 5 or 6 now, maybe even 1 or 2 more. But no, Ruzi's really instilled a defensive mindset of playing, and they've really improved. It's out of sight, so
they have.
Yeah, you definitely know Paul Ruiz is playing if it's a low-scoring affair, or Ross Lyon.
Yeah, either or.
Nothing worse than when those two coach against each other.
Like they did on the weekend.
Yeah, a bit of a higher scoring game than I expected from Fremantle's point of view, but well, I don't think it's the way we've been playing lately. You can't pencil this one in. Melbourne are a big chance the way we're going, but I mean, if I had to have some kind of tip, I don't know. I'd have to say 3 or 4 goals the way we're going at the moment. I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've sort of waited for that turnaround in form and it hasn't come, and the D's aren't going to roll over. They're pretty tough to score against, so I couldn't disagree there, mate. It's not going to be easy, and we'll have to pay them a fair bit of respect.
Yeah, you can't take them too lightly, as Essendon found out, as Adelaide's found out, maybe a few other sides as well. But special shout out to Jeff Short, who thought Geelong would win by more than 40 points. Mate, you were wrong, and I told you they were going to win by under 40, so take that and listen to my stats next time, mate. So there's
a real serve for me, Dad.
Definitely, mate. No, he deserved it, so he was didn't quite like my stats, and
no, he didn't, but that's all right.
He finally got what was going to, I think.
We'll have to show him this video, I think.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. But so what's your final tip, mate, for against the D's? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Geelong should beat them.
They should.
They should beat them, but as I said, you can't really play Melbourne without taking it easy, taking them lightly. We'll have to be switched on. They're a pretty decent side now. They don't get thumped as often, and they'll make it tough for us to score. But yeah, again, disappointing today because we saw with the weekend's results, Port lose, Hawthorn lose, Collingwood lose, Sydney not super impressive.
Yep.
You know, the door was really ajar for top 4 aspirations, and it's, you know, the way we're playing, it's not quite going to happen that way. But again, hopefully we can pencil in another 4 points and just take it week by week there, as they say. But
The old cliche.
certainly I'll be tipping the Cats, but not with a great deal of confidence in the footy that they've been producing.
Yeah, I think we both see it pretty similarly. So those are our thoughts on the game with Geelong up against the Western Bulldogs, which was a pretty lacklustre performance. Not at all convincing, but you take the 4 points. It's outside your control, so that's just how it goes. So yeah, comment your thoughts on the game. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and also check out my mate darijoe, who does the Geelong goal videos each week. He does a spectacular job. I think he could still be on holidays, but just don't forget to check him out. I'll have the link in the description below. And also follow us on Twitter. We've got our links in the description below as well. So you'll be able to find everything, I reckon, in the description below, mate. So
Sounds pretty good.
yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Check out other videos as well, and we'll see you guys all soon.